Hello and welcome to this episode of our Decan Walk, where Ant and I are walking the zodiac in the 10-day slices of each sign. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, the way this works is that we're two artists that are creating tarot as we walk the zodiac, and each 10-day slice of each sign has a minor arcana card associated with it. So we're sharing our artwork for each minor arcana card as we walk, and we reveal our two very different types of art. Ant does beautiful detailed graphite artwork, and I create colourful wave mandalas that are based on the astrology chart. And the chart I use is the very first step into each decan. So we go through the artwork, and starts off with his art, then I will share my art as well as talk about the astrology, the chart that I've used to create my mandalas. Then we talk about the typical associations and meanings of the card, as well as our experience, our lived experience of the decan that's just gone. And last but not least, we each choose a song to represent the card, and we share the song and the reason why we've chosen the song. That's it. That's how we go through each part of our walk. Welcome to the session of our Decan Walk. We have now reached the third Decan of Gemini, which is the Aquarian Decan of Gemini, being the third, and goes from the 11th of June to the 20th of June. And we're going to start off with, as per usual, the artwork, and we're going to start with Ant's artwork, which I will share and get him to talk about the art, which, as per usual, I'm just as intrigued as you to find out what's the story behind this piece of art.
Where do I begin? So, the way I see the Ten of Swords is a bit more positive than maybe some people would look at it, as a card of despair and agony and pain and feelings of being stabbed in the back so much and that you can't take anymore, and you're kind of rendered kind of enable, if you like, either physically or mentally. But seeing as these are the swords and the element and the symbol of the mind, the air, it's all about thoughts and how we nurture our thoughts and how we nurture our minds. And I really wanted to put a positive spin on this card to show that it's not always the case of misery and despair and the heartache. It's as a lot of people are aware, number 10 is the number of completion, and this is certainly how I see this card, and this is what I wanted to portray in this card. So I have a puzzle, a jigsaw, and although there's a piece that isn't yet attached to complete it, it's so close, and it's literally the pinpoint of the last sword, if you like, to make up the full 10. The meaning behind it is what you can kind of suggest is the missing piece of the puzzle, and the missing piece of the puzzle literally is all in our mind. And if we can create a foundation, a stable foundation in our minds, where we're less affected by the occurrences going on with the energy of the Ten of Swords, it enables us to navigate our way through it, to see the positives within the negatives, and react totally differently than we would, as opposed to not nurturing the mind and seeing things in a different perspective. I wanted to lay it on a wooden background instead of a bare background, because I just wanted to put more detail into the card itself. And I wanted it to kind of not stand out, the puzzle itself, not stand out, but to sit in its own environment and have the swords stand out. But the idea of the picture puzzle is that to get to this positive energy, if you like, of the mind, where anything external isn't affecting you in the way maybe it used to. Each piece of that puzzle is connected over time and made up the final piece of being able to navigate through this energetic. The number 10 within the tarot is a number of completion, a card of completion. The negative within the positive that I see literally is that you're in a situation where that you feel you have no control over. The truth is that you have utter control. You have so much control that you can change your viewpoint. You can use the pain or the suffering that you're actually going through at that time and transmute it into a positive energy, which allows you to, as I've expressed before, navigate through the energy. And I feel I have many kind of images coming through my head and how I wanted to portray this card. But I feel that I've done it justice in how I want to portray, and I feel that the artwork fits in. It fits in lovely with the past work I've done on the other cards, and I just think it's a lovely image. The only thing that I can say about this card after drawing it and kind of assessing it is that I'm intrigued at how the swords are going to kind of meld in, because I understand that they're very close together, and how is that going to work from your aspect, from your end, once you incorporate your light song, your architecture. So I'm intrigued to see this, and I'm even more intrigued to hear what you think about the card. What are your thoughts? What do you feel?
Well, as you're talking through it, I was thinking, okay, so it's almost like you, even though the overwhelm of the mind and I guess mental chatter that's kind of indicated by a 10 of air, right? 10 swords of air. You're actually, the puzzle indicates that you're holding it together. When I first saw this, I thought, this card's quite dark. But yeah, it's got an interesting energy about it, and I was intrigued that it was a jigsaw puzzle. And like I say, that realization of it illustrating that you're still holding it all together, and you've just got one piece to pop in there to complete the square. Yes. And I'm keen to show you what I did, because I took a different approach to filling the swords, which I hope you're going to like. First, I'm going to go to my light song. Here is the earth and the cosmic light song for this card. There's a lot of yellow, which you'll understand when we get to the chart that's behind it. But yes, these are the light songs on their own. And for this 20 degrees Gemini, when the sun hit 20 degrees Gemini, the sun is the sub-ruler for this decan. So the decan is a Gemini, decan, but the sun is the sub-ruler. Mercury is the primary ruler. So it's funny that, we're walking with the sun and the decans are a walk with the sun, and this card sub-ruler is the sun. So the 20 degrees Gemini was the point of the zodiac wheel that I was concentrating on, because that's where the sun is, the beginning of the third decan of Gemini. And you'll see that I've done that little faint dotted line to the moon. That is the only aspect that the sun was making to any of the other traditional planets. And even then, it's actually quite a distant connection, because you can see the sun's at 20 degrees Gemini, the moon is at 12 degrees 20 Sagittarius. So that's quite, that's quite a distance. Typically, the allowable range for, especially between the two luminaries, which the sun and the moon are, is 10 degrees. But for the light songs, I usually have a cutoff of 5 degrees. So I have not included that faint dotted line into the light song. I went looking for the harmonious trine to see what did we have sitting at 20 degrees or thereabouts of the other two air signs. So we have Dancing Angel at 20 degrees 47 Libra, and Antigone, I think is how, I don't think it's Antigone, I think it's Antigone. Do you know
Antigone.
how to Antigone, thank you. So then we have Antigone at 20 degrees and 10 minutes of Aquarius. So this makes a pretty solid, strong, grand air trine, because they are all at 20 degrees and change. And you can see the influence. And I've actually put two other Aquarian asteroids in there, or another two asteroids that are sitting in Aquarius on either side. So on either side of Antigone, we've got Banks, which is, a money asteroid, and Chariklo. Chariklo being the wife of Chiron, the wounded healer. And she is an asteroid. So you know how in previous cards we've had the six-pointed star, the Merkaba, the hexagon, the hexagram. Chariklo, the asteroid, her discovery chart is a perfect hexagon. So all the traditional planets make a perfect hexagon in that asteroid's discovery chart, which is quite remarkable. You've got the healing, nurturing, and connection to the natural world, and then the wealth on the other side of Antigone. This is quite a harmonious and beneficial vibration to bring out of this chart to go with our card of completion, of the air, mental abundance, I guess you could say. And this is why it's super yellow, because the yellow is the color that I use for asteroids. And that is because of where they belong in the sequence of planets. And this is the midpoint color for where they sit between Mars and Jupiter. So the asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. So the color yellow is actually the mid color between the colors of Mars and Jupiter. And we've got the sun flavoring the pool of light down here with, sorry, I didn't talk about the other asteroid, Perdix, craftsmanship, skill, and ingenuity, that is with the sun. And moving on. So here are the two side by side that we saw in the artwork. And now I believe my next slide is the swords, your artwork with the light song in the swords. Ready?
Ooh. Ooh.
So, to explain the different approach that I took, on the dark shaded part of the blade, we have the earth song, earth light song. And on the light side of the blade, we've got the cosmic light song. So each blade is made up of two pieces. Each sword blade, yeah, that's right. Each blade is made up of two pieces, the two light songs. So that you get that, you know, it maintains the integrity of the shadow and the light side of the blade. So the light side of the blade is the cosmos and the shadow part of the blade is the earth.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. It looks so different from all the others. It's kind of it looks, by looking at it, is kind of abstract. It's got an abstract feel to it, and I love that because it kind of fits in with the jigsaw as well in some way. And I really like it. I love the colours. I love the purple yellow combination, and I love the way the oranges blend in. Really like it. Really like it.
Yeah,
It's come out a lot better than what I thought I was going to see. Really like, and I love the puzzle piece up the top with just that little speck of colouring.
Yes, well, I couldn't leave that out. So
No.
yes, I've yeah. So they are also likewise, they are divided into the earth and cosmos as well. Because I'm pernickety like that. And yes, I now that I'm looking at this fresh, right, with you, it reminds me of like a fan,
Yeah.
And isn't
Yeah.
that appropriate for
Yeah.
an air card? It's like a
Yeah.
fan,
Yeah.
It's
And
wicked.
airing out your troubles, fanning away those beliefs, and
Yeah, yeah.
it certainly does. It's lovely, really nice, really,
Awesome. I'm glad that you're happy with it.
really nice.
Because, yeah, when I was playing around with it, well, not playing around with it, when I was, like I said, being my pernickety self, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I really hope he likes this because, yeah, I I did the usual approach of just, one per sword, and I thought, I'm not happy with that. It's almost like it's gone thwomp onto the onto the
Yeah,
rendering of the swords, whereas
yeah,
this works in with the rendering of
really,
the swords.
kind of really, it adds dimension
Yeah,
to the.
yeah, yeah.
Very nice. Now, I did wonder when I was drawing this, am I making Mission Impossible for Liyanne with her rendering? Excuse me, her architecture, her light songs. I didn't know because I wasn't aware. I don't know the way you work and things. So I took the chance, and I'm glad I did because it's wonderful. It looks absolutely lovely.
No, I like a challenge, me.
Yeah.
So let's move on to how we experienced this Decan between us. And here is the artwork that's available for purchase. And the link is going to be in the description for this video. This is it in the home because this is about how we experienced it during this 10-day period. So this is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, Lord of Ruin. And we have this chap here that's like completely surrendered to the fact that he's been pinned down by 10 swords in his back. However, the sun is peeking through the clouds in the background. So it's almost like there is hope on the horizon. And you can read on the left here what the traditional interpretation is for this card. Then we have the Druid craft. Again, a chap, you know, completely on the ground with the 10 swords in his back. And the sun is still peeking through the clouds as well. It's similar meanings. I really resonate with, you know, at this moment, you're on the ground, all the swords are in your back, and you've just surrendered to it. So the only way from here is up. Opportunity for liberation and change if it's a reverse, but you need to act on that quickly if this comes up in a reading. Okay, and the period, like I said, is the 11th of June to the 20th of June, that 10-day slice of the zodiac wheel. So with that, Ant, how did you experience these energies during that 10-day period this year?
Firstly, the idea of the 10 of swords in your back, as you stated, pinning you down. Sometimes the universe requires us to sit, be still, go into our thoughts, assess, and they create situations and scenarios where we have no choice but to do so. And through these periods, we could be going through dark nights of the soul, we could be healing elements of the situation that we're in, etc., etc. Me personally, this Decan, I wasn't at the suffering end of it in terms of being stuck in that modality of negativity and kind of chaos in my mind. However, I was in a situation where dire straits were occurring, and had I not have done so much work in the past, I would have crumbled. I would have been in the dark night of the soul, suffering through my mental thoughts and anguish and everything else that comes with it. And I'm so delighted to see the contrast of knowing we're in that energy, that Decan. Yet it's almost like I'm an outsider looking in to myself, and knowing that 3 or 4 years ago in this situation, I would have buckled and crumbled and taken so much negativity on board from it. So I'm delighted about that, and I didn't go through the mental emotion of this card. However, and this is very ironic, I had back pain last week, and I couldn't help but laugh my ass off while I was drawing this drawing, thinking, one minute I'm sat thinking, I'm blessed, I don't have to go through all this rigmarole. The following day, I woke up in agony. I could barely move with my back, as you well know. And it lasted 2 or 3 days. And I just thought it was so funny because one way or another, they're going to get you. You know, it's going to come and show itself, reveal itself to you. And I thought it was so ironic.
I have to admit that I was laughing too. I was thinking, oh my God,
Mm.
it's such a literal manifestation of this
Yeah,
card. Poor
yeah,
Ash is like being
yeah,
laid to the ground with a sore back.
yeah, yeah. And it wasn't something I'd done that strenuous or lifted too many things, heavy things, or turned the wrong way. It was literally through a night's sleep because I slept on a new mattress, brand new mattress, and I think my body was trying to configure, and my pillow usage was a bit off. So yeah, I had a bad back, but it was grand after 3 days, and we're all right now. So that's the main thing. But yeah, the irony, it just made me laugh so much. And because I was putting out literally all positive thoughts and energy, positivity came back my way. And it kind of that positive thoughts got me out of a tricky situation, and it's as if nothing happened. It's as if I glided through the whole energy, apart from the bad bang. But yeah, it was lovely. I enjoyed the experience of this energy. I enjoyed creating the card, and I even to some extent enjoyed the bad bang because it made me laugh. What's been your experience of the Ten of Swords?
I didn't feel like I was like literally on the ground, but I did have a lot of mental activity, and a lot of ideas that I was wanting to execute. So I did feel the abundance of mental energy, and to the point where I was a bit immobilized by too many ideas, if that makes sense. I would say that that's how it manifested for me. Touch wood, thank gosh, thank God, that it wasn't in a negative way. It was like, yeah, a lot of ideas, a lot of ideas to execute and get underway. I felt like I was doing a lot of juggling, and I think there was probably one day where I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to do anything because I'm like, when you have so much and you're like, yeah, there's so much that I can't do anything. And I would say that would be the day that really epitomized this card. Yeah. So we've now reached the point where I would like to know, what song did you choose for this card, and why?
Well, I went with Bette Midler's version of Wind Beneath My Wings. Such a beautiful, powerful song. And the lyrics, when spoken to self, as opposed to paying tribute to somebody else who's been there for you and guided you and been your support system, your support network. When you've been there for yourself and literally done everything for yourself, this this song for me, there was no other that could lyrically replace how I feel about this card. Um, Practically every line in the song, every lyric in the song relates to being there for yourself. And it's victory. When we choose ourselves, we don't understand what we're actually choosing. We don't understand the potentials of choosing yourself, putting yourself first and loving yourself unconditionally. It's powerful. And it enables you to navigate this world in your thoughts and what is the things that come into your environment to teach you, to guide you, to show you shift, and they change, and not so many tribulations and bullshit comes into your world because they're not there to teach you anymore because you've learned. That's not to say that you live a life without any stress or any, because life is chaotic. It's just it's very lessened because you're not vibrating anymore to the things that would potentially teach you through a negative manner. The vibrate your frequency and your vibration is much higher, which is bringing in more abundance and more lovely things as opposed to the disastrous things. And I think this song explains that for me. And it's always been one of my favorite songs since I was a child. I think I was 9 or 10 years old, and it was my first. Is it a 6 inch they call it? First 6 inch vinyl record that I bought, but it was Bill Tarmy's version. And anybody who doesn't know who Bill Tarmy is Jack Duckworth from Coronation Street. And when I learned that he could sing, I said to my dad, I didn't even know he could sing. I think it was my dad or my mum, probably my mum, or it could be him. And I didn't know he could sing, so Yeah, it was the first kind of 6-inch or music I bought for myself, and I loved it, and it's been a beautiful song ever since.
So I think it might be 7-inch.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And who knew that someone from Corrie could sing?
Means a lot to me, and Bette Midler's version is just the epitome of the song, in my opinion. You know, beautiful song, full of meaning. No particular lyric because I think the whole song just does it for me.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings.
I remember going to watch this film, Beaches. It's from the Beaches soundtrack, and being in absolute bits at the end of the movie. And when this, song came in, it was like, oh my God. Yeah, I remember this, yeah, very clearly, the
Great.
film. My song I chose I chose it because it's very literally describing this card. And the part of the song, I'm sharing. It's another live to studio, a live version, and it's the part of the song that I'm going to share is where it just really, for me, when you have in your mind this bloke on the ground in complete surrender with all the swords in his back, this would be the song and the way he would sing the song in his head. And let's see if you agree with me.
I can level with the ground. I can level with the ground. I can level with the ground. 'Cause I get so low. Get so low. I get so low. I get so low. I get so low.
Very appropriate.
Yes. So as I shared with you in our last session, I had already chosen my Ten of Swords song when we did Nine of Swords. And you can see why, because like this song is on one of my Spotify playlists, and when it came up when I was, you know, just listening to Spotify, I'm like, oh, I get level with the ground. I get so low. I get level with the ground. Is that not Ten of Swords?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, the Teskey Brothers is the name of the band. They're an Australian band. And here are the lyrics of that particular verse. I get so low sometimes, feels like I'm level with the ground. And yes, it's my Ten of Swords song.
It was a great song. Very card appropriate, energy appropriate. And yeah, you could almost picture him as the guy in the card.
I didn't do any looking at charts this time for any synchronicities, mainly because, like I said, I've had my hands full with lots of ideas to execute. So looking for syncs went by this for this card. But I feel like, you know, the effort I put in was in the actual rendering of the swords, which I'm very happy with, and I'm glad you're happy with it too. That's all you have then. We've reached the end of this session for this card. Thank you for tuning in, whoever has joined us. And if you feel so inclined, add your song for this card to the comments. We love to hear from people. And yes, we shall see you for the next card. But for now, from my heart's light to yours, bye for now.
Love and light to you.